At the end of the day, the biggest announcement yesterday, of course, had to be the Global League. If you didn't hear about it, well, you're hearing it here first. We will have our Global Pro League on land. It begins in April at the MLG Arena in Columbus, Ohio. All kinds of new production tools, toys, and equipment has been sent to Columbus. We are prepared to have 16 teams competing in the first Global League on land for Call of Duty, and we're going to have Australian representation. We're going to have players from the EU as well as 9 North American teams.
Yeah,
there.
Global representation in the Global League only makes sense. This is something that the players have wanted for so long, the fans have wanted for so long, and it's finally happening.
Absolutely. Now to catch you up with what is coming up in just a few weeks. That, of course, is all 2017 news. We also have another event to close out 2016 in just 10 days, basically. We are heading to Vegas. It is the $100,000 CWL Vegas Open, your first chance to earn some land points here for the CWL season. For more information, head over to MLG.tv/Vegas. We'll be at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino. Incredible spot right on the Strip. Always so much fun. We've had MLG events in Vegas in the past. This one is set to be another incredible tournament for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, I haven't told Adam yet, but I'm taking the whole prize pool and I'm putting it on black.
I like that move.
So either the players are going to have $100,000 more to play for, or they're going to have nothing.
I would love to see the winning team actually just take that big old check at the end of the day, just be like, all on red. Let's throw it down. Guys, let's get you up with what's happening here, though, today. Group A, this is how things shook out. You had EG facing off against Orbit. A hot 3-0 from Orbit sent EG to the loser's bracket, where they eventually had to play Renegades, who lost to FaZe. That went the distance to a Game 5, but Renegades was able to get that win. Now they are here in the decider match, playing against an Orbit squad that also got 3-0'd by FaZe. So both teams fighting for their lives here, and the winner, they don't have an easy road ahead of them. They'll be playing Luminosity next.
Yeah, Luminosity, an opponent to be feared coming out of Group B there. Luminosity, from what I've seen from them in some of the online scrims, they looked really good. And as I was saying before, I would expect them to go up against FaZe in the Grand Finals. But speaking of Group B, this is how everything played out. Kicking things off, Elevate 3-0'd Rise Nation. Second match, LG took out E United in a pretty close match, 3-1. And then, wow, that Rise E United match, see who would get eliminated. Thought we were going to see that 0-5 comeback. Unfortunately, Pac-Man and the boys unable to make that happen. Rise Nation live to fight another day as they'll match up against Elevate coming up after this first match.
E United looking a lot stronger than a lot of people expected. You know, Splice not here at this event. E United jumps into their position last minute. Silly looked incredible, dropped 55 kills on a hard point. But Silly, he's out of the tournament. He's watching from the sidelines today. We're opening up game number 1 right now. This is Renegades facing off against Orbit. It is NA versus EU. Revan, you're driving this bus today, and we are going to be starting things off here. Who do you want to watch, man?
I'm going to start things off with the Renegades lineup.
Well, we'll start up in a minute here. One player did not get in, no problem. We will get them going. But Scorch Hardpoint, you said you want to watch this Renegades team. Why are you watching the North Americans?
Because when you're on the side that Renegades is initially spawning on, it's up to you to put yourself in a better position for the next hardpoint, which is over near the back turbine. So Renegades have to be the aggressors here. Orbit, they're fine holding the side of the map that they initially spawn on. So Renegades have to be more aggressive on the map, which means we're going to see more interactions from them.
Let's take a look at this squad. If you're not familiar with the Renegades lineup, this is a team that finished second in Season 2 of Black Ops 3, or Stage 2 rather of CWL Black Ops 3. Chino, Diabolic, and Sender now playing with Ivy. And what I find most interesting is they let Ivy have one of the most important traits in the game. Propulsion is going to be used by the objective player.
Yeah, for propulsion, because you can regenerate your thrusters so quickly, you want to give it to your player who's going to embrace the movement the most. So on the side of Orbit, it's going to be going to Urban. On the side of Renegades, we already talked about it, they're going to be giving it to Ivy. So look for Ivy to be flying around, trying to make the most of that propulsion trait.
And here we go, getting into the action. This time it looks like Diabolic may not have been able to join in. It's the first match of the day.
Charm.
Fresh equipment, starting all fresh. But let's take this moment to introduce you to our European lineup. Now, 2 of these guys finished second at the Call of Duty Championships. Of course, that was Raiden and Joe playing on Splice. These 2 now playing alongside a duo from Infused in Zero and Urban. And speaking of Urban, they say that this man may be the greatest player in Europe. You talk to different teams, they'll all tell you a different guy is the best player in Europe, but Elevate even had to say if it's not Zed, it's definitely got to be Urban as the best player in the game right now.
Man, Urban's been killing it, especially in some of the online scrims that he's been playing with this team. They've been telling me that he's been averaging 40 kills in the hardpoint, 40 kills in the uplink. Granted, it is against solely European competition. Things a little bit tougher here in North America, but he's still putting up great numbers. Plus, he has a phenomenal supporting cast around him. You have Zero, one of the star players from Infused last year, Urban's teammate on that roster. Then, like you're saying, Joe and Rated, even though these guys were like the supporting cast on the Splice lineup, they certainly held their own throughout the year.
And Revan, when you look at this team, how would you describe them? Because I kind of feel like they're the bad boys of Europe.
The bad boys?
These are the guys who aren't afraid to talk smack to the North Americans. In fact, I saw a big blow-up between Rated and Clayster. At the end of the FaZe Orbit match, these two went at each other. There's been some trash talk online, some trash talk in person, and after Clayster handed out the big 3-0, he made sure that Rated knew about it.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you what, if you want to talk a big game like that and you want to trash talk, that's all fine and dandy, but you got to be able to back it up in the game. You got to produce some victories here. And Clayster, I mean, the guy's got just about every accolade you could ever want as a competitor. Call of Duty World Champion. He's got an X Games gold medal as well. It's tough for Rated to kind of go at a historical player like that.
I'm trying to think. Has Clayster ever won COD Champs?
Yeah.
Which year?
Advanced Warfare.
Oh, thank you. I totally blanked on that denial here. I was like, well, Rated outplaced him last year. Is that a career high? No, not at all. It's way too early out here on the West Coast, but we are getting into our first match. It looks like we are getting into the game finally. This is Hardpoint on Scorch. If you haven't watched it before, this is going to be the first team to 250 points, and most of the time we are going to see all 250 points. Very rarely does this one go to the time limit. We're opening things up here with the Renegade squad, as you mentioned, Revan, and who's your player to watch? Yesterday, Diabolic had the hot hand, and a lot of the Respawn game modes didn't have the best S&Ds, but this is always a dangerous player.
Yeah, of course, Diabolic, an explosive player on this Renegades lineup, but we always like to refer to another player, Sender, as the X factor for the team. If you're seeing Sender find success around the map, that means Renegades are more than likely going to win the map. And off the break, you're going to see Urban and Joe in the kill feed, but Ivy and Diabolic answer right back. Urban is going to pick up his second, and Zero will clean up Center. So clean sweep for Orbit. They should have initial control. It's going to be up to Chino and the rest of Renegades to break through on this next push, and big kills coming in from both players. Somehow Rated died by his own trophy system. That's a little unfortunate, but it allows Renegades to push on forward. They take control of the hardpoint, and I see Chino in such a great position. Switching back over to the Orbit lineup. It's Urban now under screen, trying to zone out the player in the corner. 3 go down for Orbit. Joe's flashing alive. Renegades, as they clear out the hardpoint, they push on forward. With 15 seconds remaining, you want to start rotating towards the next hardpoint over near the back lava pipes.
Now, you see the scoreboard 28-10 and counting here for Orbit, but how did Orbit lose control so quickly? What did Renegades do right there?
It all came when Renegades just flooded right on through the hardpoint. That's when Zero died by his own trophy system. When Renegades had the man advantage, it just pushed right on through. Because there's only one player for Orbit that can contest there, but Orbit somehow find a way to win the rotation here. I'm going to switch over to somebody inside the hardpoint. It's going to be Joe. This is such a strong position to hold when you push up and hold your position behind the counter, but Renegades off the back of a well-coordinated team push. They take control of the hardpoint, and now they're fighting for a better position.
And here comes Diabolic from Renegades, able to pick off Urban, so no one behind the cover. And Diabolic knows he's just got to stay alive. You got to buy time for your teammates to get in there. Now he has 1 stacked up. Make it 2. Joe and Rated trying to answer back, but Diabolic gets a pick. Rated and Urban fly through with the OSAs, though, and will clean house for the moment, but they know now all 3 players are going to be charging from the back entrance, and this should be a Renegades retake unless Zero can lock it down.
Zero, big engagement here inside the hardpoint. Full shot being tossed out as well, just trying to contest the hardpoint for as long as he can, and keep in mind, less than 10 seconds remaining. So you see on the mini-map, most of the players choosing to fight for the rotation over towards next hardpoint, but it was really Urban that made things happen for Orbit on that turbine hardpoint. He was able to push right through the factory. For some reason, Renegades had nobody watching that side of the map as he comes in from behind the flank, takes out all of Renegades as Orbit take the lead.
Now for the next minute, I'd love to just stay on this Orbit team and kind of showcase this squad, because currently you have Urban taking over the game early. He's 12-6, double positive on a 2 streak. He's got his score streak available. Rewind has just been acquired as well. They have a lot of their payloads working in their favor, as well as just map control. And you look at how Renegades is trying to break in. They're going to have to get through 3 players who are stacked up, and you can see they're all going to try and crash in at once. Urban will fall, but Zero is there, and it's all blue in the kill feed.
Yeah, an important kill to take down Urban, but everybody else from Orbit is there to back him up. Right now you're seeing Renegades on that previous push. They spread out way too far, so what are they going to do different here? They're going to clump and try to push through, working the trades in their favor, and that doesn't go out well. Zero is able to pick up 3. Renegades don't get much time on this hangar hardpoint, as now you see Orbit starting to build a lead.
And you can see that Zero is going to be running the Centurion. So tell me a little bit about this payload. He's only about 60% of the way there, but when he gets it, what will this payload do in hardpoint?
It's essentially a jammer combined with a trophy system. So you place it around like an area, like let's say he placed it here on this hardpoint. When Renegades would get in a certain radius of it, they would be affected by the jammer effects, and then if they're ever to toss any lethals or attack at the Orbit squad, the Centurion would take quick care of that.
Joe doing a nice job making sure nobody sneaks behind their flank. Urban's going to be charging through the front. Renegades desperately trying to get some control of hill time. Unfortunately, they can't make it there. Finally, Ivy's going to break in and is instantly shut down. A very strong game from Orbit so far, doubling up on their opponent's score. Zero now catching up with Urban. He is 15-8. You have Rated, who is +5 as well. This is just a performance from Orbit where they are outslaying their opponents early on in the first 4 minutes.
Outslaying, outperforming. I mean, look at the slaying being done by Renegades right now. Nobody positive. Best player center right now, even 13-13. You have to get Chino more involved in this game. Crafty wall run here by Urban as he's looking over the hard point. Stay alive, staying on the map. Gets on the wall run, Propulsion helping him out big time right here.
I don't think I've ever successfully made that jump. And
nice.
Urban is picking up a triple kill using the walls. He has not touched the ground for over 30 seconds.
Staying on the map, more Renegades players pushing through it, and they're just not expecting it. Gets the beatdown on Diabolic, looking for the second kill after, and he gets it on the Chino. Urban is a man on fire, was on a 5-streak before he got taken down, as it's Orbit now up by close to 100 points.
And while Urban was having the time of his life, just slaying everybody, his teammates are soaking up that time inside the hard point. 15 points remain here, as Renegades will try and get this scrap, but that means that you're most likely going to see this Orbit squad rotating and getting early control. The only player here to defend it is going to be Sender, and he knows everyone is coming his way, immediately taken down. Orbit winning the rotations and winning nearly every gunfight that we're seeing on screen.
Yeah, and this is a great setup for Orbit on this Turbine hardpoint. They have control of the counter. Zone out players pushing up the drill street. 2 players inside factory as well, and that's where Renegades is going to be pushing while Diabolic sets up a pitch from the street. You see Orbit players starting to spawn out. It's up to Joe to make a pick play happen with Raiden, and they're able to do it. Ivy, the last remaining player here for Renegades. He's just trying to hold some forward positioning. It's a great hold for Orbit as they continue to rack up the time.
Orbit is running away with this game, up 105 points. They've got this hill locked down. Both entrances being watched. Joe, he's got the top watched. He's got Zero watched in the back, and Rated is there to help out as well. And it looks like it's going to be Urban posted up. This man is definitely going to be looking for a 40 bomb. He's already got 25 kills. He's on a 2-streak once again, nearing a minute of hardpoint control as well. On board with Joe now, as he'll be rotating. This is a big rotation. Remember, last time it was Orbit with 3 members inside the hangar that got the majority of this hill time. Renegades is the first there, though. They have 3 players in. Can they keep control, though?
Well, if they want to find their way back into the game, it starts right here, right now on the hangar hardpoint. They win the rotation, starting to trade out some kills, but as Diabolic goes for the reload, he's being challenged in from the balcony. Chino there to help him out as well. Renegades holding on for the time being, but you see Orbit setting up a pinch in from the back rocks. It's going to be Center in a key engagement there. If he's able to win that, Renegades maintain control of the spawns. Looks like he should be able to.
And you have 2 players. You have Zero and Rated with their payloads. When do you use it? It looks like Rated just decided to pop his here. And now Zero is going to use his as well.
There's a Centurion.
So they're going to use it with just 23 seconds remaining on this hardpoint. But Orbit wants to make sure they can lock up this game in the next 2 hills. 3:18 left on the clock, as you can see everyone contesting for time. It's Zero, though, clearing house once again. Here is nearing 30 kills. Urban is 1 kill away from getting 30 as well. And Rated has just passed 2 minutes in hill time. That's basically everyone from Renegades added up together.
I wanted to switch over to Joe here as he's going on the long flank. Makes his way inside the observation deck, and Renegades have no idea that he's here. Joe can make such a big play happen for his team. Finds 1. Takes down Sender as 3 fall for Renegades. Orbit have been doing such a great job the entire map of just chaining kills together. Once one person starts to get a hot hand, it reflects on everybody else. Right now, it's a 6, 8, 9, 10 combined streak for everybody on Orbit, as they have such a stronghold on this game.
I don't think I've seen yellow in the kill feed
For
in
quite
the
some
last
time.
30 seconds here. That is another 4 straight kills for Orbit. They are 11 points away. You have camo available if you're Joe. The score streak's coming down from 0. Joe picking up a kill in the back as well. Renegades simply getting slaughtered here. Orbit ran away with this one, Revan. Remember, it was close for your first 2 hard points. After that third one, though, they never looked back. The whole team catching fire to close out this one.
If we had 5 more seconds in that game, 0 would have earned the Warden. First one we would have seen all weekend, but it was really the slang that Orbit brought to the table for this first map that carried them through to victory. Renegades, welcome to the 100-point club.
Yeah, Chino just looked shell-shocked. He's like, what happened, man? I'm not awake enough for this. That was just brutal. It felt like every time Renegades got set up, it was a single push from Orbit. An organized, coordinated push. A triple kill or a double kill from either Zero or Urban, and at the end of the day, those are your 2 players who shine the brightest on the score sheet. Zero, 31 and 16, nearly double positive, 33 and 18 from Urban, and not a bad game out of Rated either. The man goes 28 and 16, overshadowed by his teammates, but he had 9 defends as well.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the Renegades lineup, nobody did well. There's no positive you could take away from the first map, and I'll tell you what, Puckett, first team that was here ready to warm up, it was Orbit. They were here bright and early. They were making sure that everybody had their shot warmed up, as now we're getting ready to load into the second map. Throwback, Search and Destroy. This is where Renegades have to find their way back into the series, and they've been very inconsistent Search and Destroy throughout the weekend so far.
The worst part is I talked to Chino before the match, and he said, I asked him, how do you feel about these game types for this decider match? He said, honestly, not excited to be playing Throwback S&D. It's not one of our best.
Well, they have to find a way to turn things around for this second map. I wonder if Chino's going to bring out the sniper here. So not in the first round. We saw Pac-Man do some pretty good things with the sniper rifle when E United played Throwback Search and Destroy.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Renegades on offense first. Looks like they're going to do their tried and true B-bomb side attack.
Chino is going to lead the charge. You have your bomb moving across that wall run. Chino just watching the tunnel. No one crossing quite yet. And there are your first picks. Ivy gets first blood, but Urban answers right back on Diabolic. And now Chino giving his team the one-man advantage. As I say it, Rated is going to push out from the barn. So a little bit of overextension from your Renegades team. And nice punishment from Urban. But Chino charging in confidently takes down Rated. The last man up is Zero now from your Orbit squad.
Swap over to him, trying to make the clutch happen. Spots one. Good trigger discipline, takes down Chino. Looking around for the second player, just trying to catch a glimpse at Center versus Zero. As he's just going to back up, reassesses the situation. As now both players just looking for one another.
Right, and you got plenty of time if you're Center. No reason to force the issue, but Zero must have gone blind for a moment. He did not see the peek from Center, and that is a small mistake that is going to cost him big in the first round. First attack is successful for Renegades, and around that, honestly, they probably should have lost after the initial overextension.
I was very worried because Ivy, as you were saying, he overextended just a little bit, caught out of position. That evened things up at 2 apiece. And just talking about what's going on, like in the communication for Orbit, in that situation that Zero was just in, he's relying on at least one of his teammates to watch the other half of his screen. He was probably looking a bit more towards the barn side. So while he's focused on his left side of the screen, his teammates are watching the right side. Maybe somebody forgot to call out or just didn't spot Center.
Early kills happening underneath the bridge. Here's the flank. Joe a little bit late. The kill's already cleaned up by Zero. Now he's going to find a one-on-one. The hip fire goes down. Zooms in for the final kill. A very fast attacking round here from Orbit. They answer right back.
That's normally how the rounds play out here on Throwback Search and Destroy. It's just a bloodbath over near the A bomb site, because just like Hardpoint on this map, if you could extend to both sides of the street, you control all the cover around the bomb site. Easy to get the bomb plant after, as it's a quick round for Orbit. They tie things up one apiece.
Joe's hair is amazing. I don't know if you noticed that beautiful orange, I don't know what that is, flume of hair. Just it's going all different directions.
I did hear Mr. X say yesterday that he uses a hair straightener last time
he does. It's very true. 1-1. We got this Renegade squad back on the attack. The bomb, it looks like it is not going anywhere. Stayed in spawn. And this is a mistake that has happened so many times. I mean, this is the first big land for a lot of these players, but this is simple stuff. This is the basics of COD, and it is costing Renegade Center the last man up now in a 1v3.
That's just such a stupid mistake to make. Because they have to back up and get the bomb, They lose all positioning they had. Chino gets overwhelmed in the open. He's fighting a 1v3. Center does about to shadow this player. In Orbit, ooh, they were fighting 1v1s there. Fortunately, they win this one, but Renegades, you can't make a mistake like that. Pick up the bomb like that. That's the first thing you establish when you're going over search and destroy shots. Who's going to pick up the bomb? Who's going to be our main bomb carrier? Normally, it's Ivy for this Renegade squad, but just ran past the bomb there.
And it's the Gorgeous Ginger picking up your final kill of round 3. Orbit up. They're back on the attack, though, could extend their lead. And after seeing how much success they had with their first push towards A, I would expect them to do it again, but that's not what the mini-map shows. They are switching it up, trying to catch Renegades off guard here.
Yeah, so the thought process is here, wow, we had such an easy time at the A-bomb site. Maybe Renegades have to dedicate more players over towards that side or play a bit more passively near A. Let's see if we can catch them off guard at B, and they're going to do exactly that as they take down Chino for first blood.
Rated gets the first pick with the OSA. Now on board with Joe. He's just watching the back alley. Trading shots. Knows there's going to be help. Diabolic and Ivy, though, pick off Raiden and Urban. So it's going to be Joe and Zero left in the 2v3. And Joe has definitely seen this and called it out, Revan.
He's playing this one very patiently, and this is 100% the right play to make, as Joe can make the round-winning play right here, right now, turning the corner, spots one, lines the shot up, picks up the kill, doesn't see him defuse and bomb, gonna get out of harm's way as it's Diabolic left in a 1v1, knows Joe's over near the barn side of the map, but that's a lot of area to check and not a lot of time to work with.
And props to Diabolic, he got away from Joe there. After losing his teammate, he just sprinted forward and was able to trade out a kill. 5 seconds left. And that is going to be Diabolic picking up the kill, but not the round win. It's Orbit who is going to get the bomb planted and detonated. They go up 3-1 here, and it's the first team to 6. They're halfway there.
And Orbit, things almost went against them there because you saw them commit to the fights over near the back market because Joe had one player tagged up. They almost overcommitted. Fortunately, it was great patient play from Joe. He's able to spot the information laying behind the hay bale. But this time around, Renegades back on offense.
And they have the bomb.
They got the bomb this time. That's a good start.
And a sniper rifle. So keep your eyes on Sender here. He's going to be going for this first pick. A very slow setup here. Unfortunately, Rated. Going to grab Chino right away. So already down a man. Renegades. Now with Sender hurt, won't be able to push forward. It's going to be up to Ivy on the flank, pushing through the middle. But look at player 5. That's Joe behind enemy lines, and he's going to pick up the double kill as Sender will be dropped under the bridge. 4-1. Orbit in total control, just like the hardpoint game.
Yeah, I see the faces on the Renegade squad right now. They just look defeated. Some of the mistakes they're making, especially in that round, just not playing for the trades. Normally when you watch Renegades play a game mode like Search and Destroy, they attack everything. 4-man hit this, 4-man hit that. They travel together as a group. Not really seeing that right now. They're playing more for individual plays, and Orbit are just overwhelming them, picking them off.
6-2 is Joe, 5-3 is Zero. Currently watching Joe, and he is just going to be gifted kills. No one watching their teammates' backs for Renegade. Joe goes and challenges Ivy for the second. He's got camo to use as well. Probably doesn't even need to pop it in this round. Will find a player up top if he decides to go through the window, and the bomb is now down. Last man up, it's Chino. 1v4 Renegades. Looking like they're going to be in a 1 versus 5 hole.
Yeah, this is not good for Renegades. I mean, Orbit could do whatever they want right now, and it's working. Renegades have no response. And this is exactly the Search and Destroy gameplay we saw from Renegades yesterday, where they didn't win a single round against FaZe. Things are not looking good for them in this series. They're about to go down 0-2.
Chino mentioned he hates this map. He doesn't know why they're so bad at S&D on throwback, and we're starting to see why they get frustrated when they have to match up against a quality squad like Orbit. This is do or die. If you're on the attack for Renegades, you have to get the bomb down successfully, and they're going to try and get it done over at B. Only one player there to protect. It's Joe, but Joe is going to see the players, call it out, and now you see the 4-man rotation. All of those blue players just going to be rotating back around. Diabolic setup in the silo, though, is going to challenge from the barn. Gets one, almost a second player jumping into his reticle, but unfortunately, Urban is there to back him up. It's going to be Sender and Chino left, and as I say, it's all up to Sender. 1 versus 3. Orbit going to take game number 2.
Zero getting crafted with the wall runs. Picking off one player is now, as we were just saying, the hope's all on Sender. He falls as Renegades lose the map. Now down 0-2. Another lackluster performance in Search and Destroy for Renegades, but Orbit, they're looking brilliant right now.
Man, it's a rule in the caster book. Don't call the game before it's over, but I knew Sender had 0 chance. There were 3 blue arrows
I see what you did
all
there.
coming right at him.
Yeah, 0 chance. Nice one.
Oh, poor guy. 0 got him. All right, guys, that is game number 2. Orbit in total control. If you're just joining us, this is an elimination match. Both teams losing earlier in Group A. They are now fighting for their lives for a second spot in the bracket from the group. The winner moves on to play Luminosity later in our semifinals, and it's looking like it's gonna be Orbit if they keep playing this way. Joe, triple positive at 9-3, 7-3 performance from 0. Everyone going positive as Renegades is now against the ropes.
And now it's going to be Frost Uplink coming up next. You got to see some major adjustments come out of the Renegades squad, right? What I'm just not seeing for them throughout this series so far is that they're just not playing together right now. As I pointed out in the Search and Destroy, across all game modes, whenever you see Renegades play, they're very teamwork oriented, which means that they like to group a lot. They like to play together and work the traits in their favor. Normally it works in their favor, and they're quite good at it. But something just seems off about them today, and this is the exact inconsistency that's plagued them throughout their entire existence as a team.
There was a lot of trust put into the teammates in the last game of Search and Destroy, and honestly, I think that trust is going to go away after getting blown out, because a lot of times you thought your teammate had your back and you get shot from the side. They were not watching the right angles. They're not working together as the squad. They need to fix it here in Uplink, and they're going to have plenty of time to work with. They're going to be on the attack first here for the drone, but unfortunately, they are going to get dropped. It's Urban and Joe letting their opponent sneak in closer and then punishing him. Now moving up the drone. It's going to be Joe with your first dunk. That took 22 seconds.
Yeah, that's a disaster for Renegades, just giving up a quick dunk like that. Urban staying alive. Along the wall run, coming back around, takes down Chino. It was a swift attack from Orbit down the ridge side of the map, and now Urban continuing to lurk over near Research. He's just going to be a thorn in the side. Look at how much information he could get off the back of these wall runs.
You know, and we talked about that rewind being so important, but most important because you get the trait, which is propulsion. Urban is going to be able to fly all over Frost here. For now, though, let's send it over to our players as we listen in with this Orbit squad. They are one game away from moving on into our semifinal.
You're going to be sub, you ready? Come, weak, really weak.
One
nice.
circle.
Front blue. Nice.
Alright, last guy in blue.
He's coming inside door. In blue dead.
Nice.
Ice, one bullet, literally.
Grab him, bow.
Yeah.
One to the left.
You're gonna spawn in the base if
Yeah,
you
back
push
blue,
out
back
blue.
blue, back blue. Come.
I got time.
Ah,
Two,
it's
two,
quite
two.
left.
Drop
Try
inside.
and get one.
Well,
Alright, three there.
it's 3. They went on the right. They went blue side, I think.
I'm here with you.
Yeah, just making sure they don't come here if they do.
Yeah, they're
Oh, it's can you get him? Nice, good trade, Dave.
Hey, glitch weak. One's already passed. Pass me on red. One weak. One guy weak.
Throwing it down.
Our camo was weak. Our camo.
Give me one more, probably.
One more. One shot. Absolute.
Weaker. What?
He's dead.
Nice
got him.
kill.
I'm blue. I'm blue side. Come right.
I'm flanking nice.
I'm weak on the blue, man. Weak blue.
Got no red, you got me.
Yeah, awesome. One more on the right.
One more.
He's on a free streak.
Picking up ball, he's picking up ball.
One's pushing up red. All dead.
Ivy, that was a big one.
One more. Chino pushing.
Making sure they don't push our base. I'm making
Okay.
Yeah. On our base. Weak, so weak. Oh my, so weak. So weak on our
Ball
base.
to the right, please. Just get the ball out. Get the ball out there.
I can't just grab the ball and it's right door.
No, we do need to.
Go on.
Alright, two on the ball.
Go on.
One more on the right. It must be on the right ball.
I'm watching
Yeah.
red pinch.
He's on ball weak.
You're so weak.
Nice.
Alright, let's get the ball out.
I need help. Side door, robots.
To an uplink, it is a score of 2-1. It was Orbit scoring after just 22 seconds, but during that listen-in, we did see a 1-point toss come in for Renegades. I have to say though, Revan, the best part of that listen-in was hearing Zero, and basically all the players making the same call out 3 times. Like, one shot. He's at blue.
I actually love the communication for it. They're calm, they're cool, they don't seem too antsy in the moment. And one thing that I did notice while they were talking is they're so aware of everything that's going on. I think a big part of that is Urban just calling out. At one point in time, Ivy was on a 3 spree. Orbit knew exactly what was up. They knew that Ivy was the high priority target to kill, so he doesn't earn any score streaks. They know exactly what's going on all over the map.
And for a team that's up 2-0, they are so relaxed.
Yeah.
I would expect some hype after that dominating S&D game. No, these guys are cool, calm, collected. And that's kind of the way Joe played throughout the entire COD champs when they finished second this year rather. Still 2016.
Yeah, back into the action. 3-ball for Renegades. Last one up was Chino. Let's hop over to the drone carrier. It's going to be rated, starting to push forward. But you see Joe, he's got an important position over near back construction. Moving in for the dunk as Orbit trying to increase their lead. And they do exactly that. now up by 3 points, and they have control of the spawns. You see Renegades starting to spawn out over near the ridge side of the map.
Yeah, and big props to Zero. They're clearing the way for Rated. Rated able to get the dunk, even though there was a player just a few feet away from him. Good way, nice job of clearing the lane, rather, for Rated. And you can see the whole team for Orbit just rotating perfectly, making sure that Renegades is never getting behind them. They're making sure that even if Renegades does touch the drone, they're not getting far. They're not going to get close to their goal. It's going to be up the center, though. He picks up one. Chino is behind him. Will they be able to push this doorway? Not going to happen. Orbit holds strong. 35 seconds left. And now they have an opportunity to pick up this drone off of the reset and go for one more dunk.
So throughout the first half so far, Renegades have been able to put together 3 pushes towards the Orbit base. One was successful in the 1-point toss. The other 2, Orbit were quick to shut down. Around the back, it's going to be Urban through the middle as 3 fall for Renegades. There still is time for Orbit to put together a push here to maybe get a 1-point toss off, but they got to go quickly.
Joe's going to grab it, toss it forward,
Well,
just make sure
no
no one
teammates
from
there.
Renegades is going to be able to touch it. And I think they are just playing for the time here as we take a look at the stats. Urban 15 and 10, 17 and 10. I believe that was Zero right next to him. These two have been on fire all 3 games.
Hey man, I was telling you, coming into the match, coming into the tournament, Urban is a force to be reckoned with. Him alongside Zero brings so much slang to the team. Plus you still have Rated and Joe to back those guys up. This is a pretty solid European team.
And I like it. You see how Rated has kind of taken over that objective role. Joe at times has also been running this drone. They're just letting Zero and Urban slay. They brought these guys in from the infused lineup of last year, just knowing what they were capable of. And I asked Joe, how did you pick these 2 players? He said, after playing with Josh and Bance, these were the next best 2 players we could pick up, and we're sure glad we did.
All right, Renegades trying to stop this push to the middle map. It's Orbit putting one together as Renegades have to play a little bit of defense, but we did a listen in with Orbit. I want to head into the communication of Renegades as they're trying to come back into the game.
He's 1 hit.
I'm going to get trip control. I'm throwing it out. I'm going to pinch their blue right now.
Go ahead and pinch the blue. I'm
Blue,
I'm pushing out your wall.
Dude, Zero's there.
I'm going
0 1 out A-bomb. 0 1 out A-bomb.
Ice right now, ice right now, Urban.
Got
Ice
one.
to blue, ice to
Urban
blue.
one shot.
Focus on the right. I
got
spawned
him on
D.
the right.
I'm in the
That's 2.
BS&D.
Urban's
I'm
up blue.
Yeah, Urban and Joe. Urban and Joe.
Urban's camping ice. Urban's laying down ice.
I'm waiting for him to push out.
Urban's ice. Urban's ice.
Trying to get blue control.
Back left dead.
Urban's by ice. Nice.
I got Urban,
Another
I got Urban.
There's 2 more. One more there.
Ice right now. Weak guys.
Back left, back left.
Pitching blue, pitching blue, pitching blue.
Back left, I don't know where you went.
Win on him.
On their base, on their base.
Trying to
Got
help
one.
you.
I tried,
On the
dude.
base dead.
No one back to base.
Third out.
One more
Rewind,
rewind in the
rewind,
middle. One more rewind in the middle.
Ice, ice.
Left
Urban
side,
one
left
shot.
side.
Go
I'll tell you
mid.
what, Spawn.
Urban one shot going
We
blue.
can try
Urban one
to
shot
go
going
right.
blue. Going blue. Urban.
One's high
High
wall.
wall in mid.
He's hurt high wall and Urban.
He's in the middle.
You went back, and one mid cut.
Third
Mid cut right now.
They're all over
Mid cut
middle.
jumped out. Mid cut
Mid
jumped
cut
out.
again, and then one there from blue. Oh, we have 3 minutes.
2 middle. High wall run.
One gets under A
One
side.
more on you. One more on you on your right. There's 2 on the right.
I think they're taking it right.
Yeah, I think they are too.
He's one shot
He's
right
earlier
side.
back right. Earlier back right.
Urban's one
Joe.
shot right side.
I got him one shot, dude. You didn't hit him. He's back our base.
I'm looking for him. Got him.
Nice. There's more.
That's
I
it.
got a one.
I'm pushing out left.
Gotta go now.
One more side door.
One-
Side
one-
door
one top
rated.
tip.
Side door
Side door
rated.
got me rated.
Top
Went
tip
back.
still
Went back
zero.
side door.
Side
Went
door,
back
in
into
shape,
side
side
door.
door.
One was by circle. One was by circle.
That's rated. That's rated.
I spawned right side.
Got him one shot on the left. There's zero. He's so one
Zero
shot.
done.
Mid, side.
Jumped out. Back door. Back door rated.
Yeah,
Back
one.
door
You
rated.
shit, you shit. Last
He's
one's there.
weak. One more.
All guy left guy.
He
He
missed,
missed.
he missed.
He's still there, side door. I had no ammo.
Okay, go for it.
Trying to help you.
We tried to take this, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
grab
to.
it,
I'm
grab
trying
it.
to come around. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pinch. I'm gonna
Go ahead,
pinch.
go ahead.
You guys can do your thing.
I'll look mid here for a sec. Go.
Trying to push up on the right here.
One high wall run mid.
That guy's dead. That
Going
guy's
down,
dead.
Mark.
One satellite. Satellite. Zero.
Got 2.
Side of
Zero
Mark.
satellite. Zero
He's
satellite.
Middle map on me
behind
again.
the
Middle map
fucking
on me. Rated. He's there from
Also
blue.
mid, everyone. Gotta rape him.
Rated's on you. Moving.
Got him
Nice,
on the
good
right.
shit.
Man, Revan, you listen in with this Renegade squad, and they are definitely putting in the effort. Everyone's still communicating throughout this game. They're simply getting outclassed versus Orbit. And I'm thinking back to yesterday when Renegades played against FaZe. I feel like they put up a better performance against FaZe than they are against Orbit right now. Orbit cleaning their clock 6-1, just 1 point score coming in, but Renegades has been shut down on every single push. Orbit just clearing the drone anytime they get close.
Yeah, it could be that Renegades maybe underestimating this Orbit squad just a little bit. Orbit came to play today. Watching Zero right now. He's got his overdrive payload ready to go. Just using the wall run, trying to buy some time off the clock, and Renegades, they ran right past them. But there's one thing that I took away from the Renegades listening that we just heard. Doesn't seem like there's a sense of urgency between them. They're still communicating like this is just any old match. They're down 0-2 right now. If they don't turn things around, they don't do it right now, they're eliminated from PSX.
I don't know how you can turn things around unless you start getting the kills.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, is you can't just be barking orders, because those orders aren't going to be heard, or you can't execute on them unless you are able to pick up the 1v1 battles. And that's the fight they've been losing all match long. You look at the numbers. Urban, positive 8. You look at 0, 32 and 18. These two players have not slowed down at all in the second half, and even though Diabolic has come to life a little bit at 26 and 23, you still have Sender, who is losing all of his big fights, especially in the short-range battles when they need to get to the drone.
And if you continuously push the drone down this research lane, you're only going to be able to settle for a 1-point toss, if that. You got to continuously push. You got to establish control right here over near the inner sub-bay of the map. But this is too little too late for Renegades. They had to do this 2 minutes ago if they wanted to come back into the game. Only 40 seconds left. I'm not sure what else they can do.
Can you put this camera on Urban right now? The man is on a 3-kill streak. This is his second 3-kill streak in the last 4 lives. He is just going in. Make it 4 now. Just making sure no one is going to get to this drone. Everyone fighting inside the sub-bay. They're going to try and force out the spawns. Look for Urban now to go hunting.
He's on a 5 spree now, as it's Urban and Zero just laying down the hammer, man, combining for 65 kills.
Pretty good.
That's insane.
10 minutes, 65 kills from 2 players. And there it is, the final kills coming in as the rewind is earned. Rated already getting up, shaking his teammate's hand. Orbit hands Renegades a hot 3-0, and it will be Orbit moving on into our semifinals to play Luminosity a little bit later.
Europeans came to play here at PlayStation Experience. It's shaping up to be another close contested year as the international teams continue to improve. They continue to impress as they try to earn the first ever world title this year. They got pretty close, Joe, and Rated last year getting 2nd place. But if they continue to practice and perform like this, I think it's only a matter of time.
I'll be honest, this is not the same Renegades team that showed up yesterday. They need to fix the mistakes. They need to get it together by Vegas. They have a few days left before that $100,000 tournament. Renegades going to go back to the drawing board, rethink what went wrong, watch back some of these VODs, but I think it all just comes down to getting the kills, getting comfortable with the OSA, and I guess just working on your teamwork moving forward, because they were super disorganized in the search and destroys.
You know, it's the same mistakes that they were making throughout the course of last year. 1, consistency. 2, slang. Normally, if they could hang with the slang with the other team, they put up a great fight, and they keep the game close. Not the case at all in this series, as Urban and Zero completely took over. Right,
let's take a look at your Group A as it is now finalized. FaZe was the first team to lock in their spot in the semifinal. Orbit, after falling 3-0 to FaZe, able to hand a 3-0 to Renegades of their own. They will be moving on into our Final 4. When we come back, though, we're going to take it over to Group B. It's going to be a fantastic